We got Ruby's Inn checking in for a wagon ride this morning.
26th May, day whatever it is.
20. This is where we're picking up our wagon ride. Looks like a cute little old towny looking place. You're a beautiful horse.
Did they take us to the...
Well, here comes our ride.
Here comes a ride for today. Do I got you? Yeah, I got you.
I've been
waiting.
Carrots.
Probably aren't allowed to eat them.
Probably not, or an apple.
Beautiful. I don't know where. I think. Oh, look at those horses. They're gorgeous. Beautiful.
You're welcome to either get on the wagon or go pet my horses, either one you want.
I'll pet them and you get on the back.
What's their names? The one on the right is Colton, the one on the left is Coy.
Coy?
Coy. I don't know who named them, but...
They're beautiful.
Aren't they pretty Belgian horses?
Oh,
Is that what they're called? Belgian?
They're Belgians, yeah. A lot of people want to call them Clydesdales.
They look like Clydesdales.
Well, they're big like Clydesdales.
Want something to eat?
hi, baby.
A little different.
Hi. Yes.
Colton and Coy.
Yeah.
Yep.
Beautiful.
Some dances I thought as I walked with her proudly inside. I paid her way in. We got her handstand. And I was ready to go shake a leg. So we were met by some guys with stars in their eyes. Before I hung my hat on the peg, one asked, "Ma'am, ma'am?" Well, she offered her hand. So I waved as they went off to dance. Once she'd gone off with him, I thought was a grin. Won't be long till I get my chance. By the wall were some chairs, so I took a seat there and I wondered as she two-stepped around. Curved blonde hair would flow as she danced to and fro, her feet barely touching the ground. An hour slipped by. I had no chance to try. Seemed the hopefuls lined up to the door, but every once in a while she would flash me a smile as she walked by me out on the floor. I was just gonna go ask when Miss Tucker come past, all 5 foot, 200 pounds. She insisted one whirl, and I tell you, that girl put me in front of me plumb out of town. Right there in the coop, when Brandon Colberry swooped me up for a bar souvian. Then one shot us with Trish, who was once quite a dish. But all things up, some days all down. Well, it was becoming apparent with her full card, I daren't even dream of dance with her. Besides, why would she want to waste time with me? And I was just one night chauffeur. So except for a trip to the truck for a nip, I demoted myself to wallflower. I watched 2 flash confused and 1 fight diffused. This Tucker makes cowpunchers cower. Seemed I sat there for days, and though I tried different ways, I could not get close to her at all. I don't know what I expect. I guess that's just what you get when you come to the bell of the ball. Wished I'd stayed at the ranch. When the band called last dance, and I turned to see standing right there, by a whole herd of men trying their best to crowd in that girl with the pretty blonde hair. She winked me her charm, took hold of my arm, and all them fellers sure was looking sad. When she said through the noise, "I'm real sorry, boys, but the last dance I saved for my dad."
Aww. That was wonderful.
That was great.
Thank you. Oh, awfully strange to be out here in the desert and see all that water. Well, it turns out that is actually a irrigation canal. That back in 1889, the folks in the Mormon church over here who were trying to make a living as homesteaders decided they needed some water. So they went over there about 8 miles and they dammed up the east fork of the Sevier River. Now, if you came in on Highway 89, you probably went along the west fork of the river. Well, they dammed the east fork up and created the Tropic Reservoir. And then they started to dig. And over the next 2 years, they dug 10 miles of irrigation canal. Wow. Now, of course, it was 1889, so they probably had plenty of backhoes and bulldozers, right? Sure. They had strong young Mormon men and women that were part of this thing. I've often wondered if the government was involved in it, if they'd still be building it. But anyway, they did. Well, so now for more than 100 years, the work that was done by those intrepid pioneers back then has been making this place agriculturally prosperous. About 30 years ago, they decided they were losing too much water to evaporation and to absorption into the ground, so they put that pipe in. I'm sure that the cost of maintaining this canal probably had something to do with that too. Pretty heavy duty, try to maintain that. So now the only part of this canal that was dug by those intrepid Mormon settlers that's still being used is the spot from that pipe to the edge of the canyon. Now when we get to the edge of the canyon, there's going to be a cliff. And anybody ever been in the military?
Yep.
Yep.
Did you ever do anything fun that didn't have a safety briefing associated with it? Here's your safety briefing. Out on the cliff's edge, farther than it ever been before, he sat with legs a-dangling high above the valley floor. He was lost in thought while drinking in the grandeur of it all when a gust of wind unseated him, and he began to fall. It was a drastic situation. He didn't dare think slow, because sudden death awaited on the rocky crags below. So he called upon a friend. I guess the only one he could. The one you never think about when things are going good. He said, God, if you help me now, I'll change my sinful ways. I'd do the things you'd have me do. I'd work hard all my days. I'd quit the booze and cigarettes. I'd help my loving wife. I'd spend time with my children. I'd turn around my life. I worked to help the needy. I promised to repent. Just then a tree branch caught his coat and stopped his fast descent. So while hanging from a tree that grew out from a rocky shelf, he cast his eyes skyward and said, never mind, I'll handle it myself. Be careful out there.
Through that water?
Yep. You see that little green spot over on the other side of that ridge?
Yep.
That's the first alfalfa field that's irrigated by this water. If you go drive on up Highway 12, you'll see about 20 miles on either side of the road there are green pastures, green alfalfa fields because of this water here. Now this is the part of the tour where if you care to, you can get off the wagon, you can walk out along that fence and go down across that, go out on that bridge and look at the water coming down. Unfortunately, you can't see the waterfall, or you can see the water disappearing. But, or if you get bored with that, you can come back and walk along this fence here and go out that gate up there. And if you walk past those 5 trees up there, you can look down into another view of the canyon. Okay, turn around, Eddie. You're in the wrong spot. Eddie's in the wrong spot. What's your name? Becky. You guys sung happy birthday? Hey dear Becky, happy birthday to you. This is our birthday song. It isn't very long.